Hi, I'm Lily Simon, and this is the second part to my 8.4 fitness testing. So, the second recommendation I'd give would be the medicine ball overhead throws, and this will increase your whole body power, but particularly focusing on the hamstrings, the glutes, and the lower back. So, these muscles often work together in jumping and sprinting movements. So, you should stand with your feet shoulder width apart, astride with the medicine ball. You should push your hips back, bend your knees and bend down. Grasp the underside and hold the medicine ball with both hands, and you should be able to keep your arms straight, dynamically, and extend your knees. Hips back and arms to throw the medicine ball over your head and behind you. And the aim of this is to get for the height and distance. And then when you have thrown the ball, you should walk to where the ball has landed and then repeat this exercise. So I said to do 2 sets of 8 reps. So then the fifth test that my client performed was the hand grip test, and her results consisted of having or making 33 kilograms. And compared to this normative data here, she was above average, which is literally on the borderline of above average to nearly to very good. So this score is an advantage due to the score being above average compared to the normative data, but I will still want to give my client recommendations to help her still improve her strength. So the recommendations that I would give would be to do the seated wrist hammer curls, and this is when you sit in a seated position with your back straight. You should place your forearm on your thighs with your thumbs pointed upwards. You should use around 5 to 10 or 20 lb weights in a hammer position and lift it back and forth slowly for 3 sets of 20 repetitions. This will develop your brachioradialis muscle, which inserts at the diastole aspect of the forearm at the wrist, and this will also help with greater hypertrophy of the muscle, and this will give more definition and balance of the forearm. So I would say to also do about 3 sets of 20 reps. And then the other recommendation I'd give would be to do seated wrist straight curls, and this is where you develop in your flexor muscles. And to do this, you have to sit in a seated position again, with your forearms on your thighs and your palms facing upwards, and again with a 5 to 10 or even 20 lb weight in your hand, and you should flex your wrist upwards. You should keep the forearms placed against your thighs for a greater stability and isolation of the wrist and the forearm muscle. But you should also be careful to place your wrist 3 to 4 inches away from the knee to allow it to have a full range of movement. You should also be doing this, I would say recommend to do about 3 sets to 20 reps. And the last test that my client performed was the press-up test. And her results consisted of doing 12 press-ups, and compared to this normative data, she was in the average zone. Well, she was just about in the average zone. So therefore, this test was a disadvantage, so therefore it can be improved due to my client's score being average or nearly below average as well. So you can always want to improve your fitness scores as well. So the recommendations I would give to my client include these different types of tests. So for more of a recovery, as you progress, you can increase the frequency to 4 to 5 days a week if you require to do that. And you should also be doing the same weights every workout over a long period of time, as this will not help to improve you. But if you're also scared to use a heavier weight, then you shouldn't be doing very heavy going into the weight room really. But what you should do, I would generally recommend to be training around 5 to 10 reps. and 3 to 5 sets for cricketers. So if your reps are on the higher side, then keep the sets on a generally lower side, and if the reps are low, then you can keep the sets high. This is if you choose to do 5 reps, then you can do 4 to 5 sets, and if you choose to do 10 reps, then you can do 3 sets. And you can vary this to do with the training, the reps and set changes. So the recommendation I'd give would be to do the standing military press-up, military presses. So this is where you start by placing a barbell that is about chest high on a squat rack. So once you have selected the weights, you should grab the barbell using a pronated grip, which is basically where your palms are just facing forward, and you should make sure that the grip of the bar is wider than the shoulder width apart from each other. So you should slightly bend your knees and place the barbell on your collarbone. You should lift the barbell up and keeping it lying on your chest, then take a step back and position your feet shoulder width apart from each other. So once you've picked up the barbell with the correct grip, you should lift the barbell up over your head by locking your arms, and you should hold at about the shoulder level and slightly in front of your head. This should be your starting position. So then you should lower the bar down on the collarbone and slowly, as you inhale, and then lift the bar back up to the starting position as you exhale. You should repeat this for the amount of repetitions. So in this case, it would be 5 repetitions. But this test could also have some different types of variations. So this exercise can also be performed in sitting, as people who might have a lower back problem are better off performing in the seated way. So the behind the neck variation is not recommended for people with shoulder problems, as it can be hard on the rotator cuff due to the hyperextension created by bringing the bar back up to the neck. So another option is to use dumbbells when performing this exercise for a better isolation of the muscle. So this is the end of my 8.4 fitness testing of my recommendations and test results of my client. Thank you for listening.